This is the place to be.
Yeah. Innovation Days.
Good afternoon. This is Morten from Inkish. Very warm welcome to Ray from Plockmatic. So welcome on Inkish, Ray.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, Morten. So it's been a couple of years, but yeah.
Likewise, and I think it was as we spoke about before the camera was turned on. You had the pleasure, I hope, to see and hang out with my colleagues in Greater Noida last week, or actually this week here. So was it a good show for you there?
Yeah, it was. It was a new experience for me. It was the first time I'd actually been in India, and the first time I'd been at the one of the Indian events. But yeah, it was a very good show. It's a new venture for us with a very good dealer down there called Monotech Systems, who are also one of the key Ricoh print production dealers. And those guys were launching a range of our products, including some of the colour cut digital die cutters. And it was also a first that they had an inline booklet maker connected to one of the high-end Ricoh print production engines, the 9500 machine. So it was kind of, there was a few new things going on there at the show. Very busy, incredible footfall around the stand. And, so in the few days that I was there, which was at the beginning of the show, it really was a very busy event for the team at Monotech.
It's actually funny you say that, because it's funny that, you see the emerging markets, they kind of use some of the, let's say, metrics that were used in the West before like earlier one, and Printpak in India this time is supposed to reach between 150 and 170,000 visitors, which is the exact same numbers as Drupa, right? And where it seems that Drupa is maybe going a little bit downhill, these emerging markets are uphill. And then in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to something that is way smaller, but also extremely focused, the Hunkeler Innovationdays. So that is a show with about 7,000 people coming in, but the expectations for this show also is extremely high. How is it for Plockmatic to be at shows like Innovationdays?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it again. Back in 23 was the first time we had attended the show, and we'd attended in sort of two fronts. We had one of our digicoater machines connected to the Canon IX3200, so that was an excellent opportunity for us to sort of show that technology. We'd been working quite closely with Canon, and we also had one of the coaters on our own booth as well. So we generated a huge amount of interest there. But as I say, that's the first time that we had been at Hunkeler. We were on a direct stand. So, when this cycle came up, it was, it was an easy decision for us to go back. It was a very successful event for us last time. We made lots of great connections. We took some sales from it. But a real nice platform with, some fairly high-end companies from around the world visiting. So it was really good interaction for us. Easy decision to go back this time.
If I say that Plockmatic also, and I know that you also have another side to it, but if I say that you have been very successful in the let's say the implant market, and let's say the entry level production market, is that entirely wrong?
It's I guess there's a lot of our devices, especially on the inline side, end up in implant type environments. However, with the digital print engines becoming more productive, higher end, we're finding the engines that are being placed into commercial print just as equally as implant. And we're connecting to most of the key print manufacturers' devices now. So I would say we're not only in the implant sector, as I say, the digital print sector is booming, as you know, and we're connecting to the high-end devices that you find in most digital print shops.
But that was actually the reason I was asking, because I was just thinking whether it is the market that because the digital market seems to be continuing its growth, and also with the diversification, moving more and more into the commercial space, where you have been very good with your binding equipment and your stitchers and all the things that Plockmatic is known for. So I was just wondering, is that like intentionally that you're also bringing technology that maybe grows a little bit into that commercial space, or is it just because the diversification of the digital space in general is growing?
I think that with the inline products, obviously we connect to the manufacturers' devices, and I think it's the manufacturers that are driving into a wider range of applications. With thicker substrates, longer sheets, and we're developing alongside them products that are going to, handle the finishing of these products. So we benefit really from the efforts of the print manufacturers finding new applications, and taking more work away from the the traditional offset type work. As far as the offline products go, we try to be as diverse as possible. We are very focused on digital print, but as the digital print market moves into longer runs, and as I say, these thicker substrates, different applications, we're developing machines to kind of keep pace with that. The digital die cutters, we bought the Intech company a couple of years back, and that's been a very interesting space to get into. But there again, the sort of range that we do, it's not the big, huge tables. We're very, very focused on working with the partners where we're strong with. And we're designing a wide range of devices that really complement that cut sheet sector, where Plockmatic is so strong and so well known.
I can't help think about it because I looked into your numbers a few years ago. I think it was part of a renewed ownership of Plockmatic some years ago, right? And I just remember because and that was like a bad journalist. I know that, but I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, right? And then you get really positively surprised, right?
Yeah, we've grown significantly over the years. I mean, my background was with the Morgana company, which was one of the early acquisitions for Plockmatic back in 2013. Acquiring Morgana doubled the size of the business. But since then, it's been steady growth over the years. We've had a few acquisitions along the way. We bought KGS in Italy. We bought the Watkiss company who manufacture the power squares. And then the most recent one was the Intech Printing Solutions, another UK-based company. But alongside that, we've done huge development with the print partners. When the Morgana acquisition took place, we were really working only with Xerox and Ricoh as our two key partners. Now, when we get to Drupa last year, we announced partnerships with Fujifilm, with Kyocera, with Riso. So we're really working with all the key cut sheet engine manufacturers now. So alongside the acquisition, we've had real genuine growth, organic growth within the organisation through the partnerships that we've developed with these other manufacturers. So it's working well on all fronts. And last year was another great year for the group. You mentioned we had new ownership last year. We were acquired by Accent Equity, a Swedish investment company.
Yeah, and I remember,
so it was a good year for them to make that acquisition. It was a Drupa year, and it turned out to be another fantastic year for us. We were celebrating our 50th anniversary in business, so there was a lot of events around that last year, and we closed it off with another record sales year. So it's been very, very good for us. 24 was a good year for lots of reasons.
I'm so happy to hear about that. Also because I think that when I look at we talk about the print engines. It's fun. It's always the print engines that seems to be in focus at first, right? But it is really the finishing side that is, in my opinion, a little bit more interesting, because I know it's high-end technology to make print, and I know it's difficult, but the physical handling of paper where it needs to be, you say, thicker substrate is just like one thing, but you also have to make it faster. You have to make sure that you don't damage the print, because it's if you have like something that is water based on a piece of paper, it can be destroyed if you don't do it right.
It's tricky. And someone once said, I can't remember who, but finishing is the last thing you do, but it's the first thing the customer sees. It doesn't matter how good the quality of the print is. If it hasn't been finished well, that's what stands out. So we're constantly working with these guys to really meet the demands, their changes in specification, this heavier substrate, longer sheets. We're always working with these guys, to really understand what comes next and try and keep ahead of them as far as the finishing devices go.
The R&D, because you mentioned the different companies that you have acquired, have you kept R&D inside each of these companies, or have you centralized some part of the R&D as well?
No, our R&D is across the sites now. We have an R&D team in the UK in the what was the old Morgana building. So these are predominantly the engineers for the old Watkiss team, and we're very, very close to moving into sales of the latest Power Square booklet making. In fact, that's one of the key machines we're taking to Hunkeler. So the R&D on that range is in the UK. We have R&D based in Stockholm, which primarily looks at the print partners and their new devices and looking at all the areas we need to when we're connecting to these. But we also have an R&D team in Riga, and they essentially look after maintenance of existing products. So there's quite a big team there. And
because you built a new production plant in Riga, right?
We did, yeah. We last year, as I say, part of this great year we had, we moved into a new purpose-built production facility in Riga. It was basically a greenfield site, and we built the building to our specification. Really, we needed more capacity. The old building, which wasn't too far away, we had just outgrown it with a huge growth in the range of products and the volume of products. We really needed to move to a new site, that had a much more logical workflow to bring the parts in and the goods out. So we were lucky enough to work with a partner over there to completely design the site to our requirements. And we moved in there around the mid-year point. It's working incredibly well for us, and it's going to give us the capacity we need over the next few years, because our forecasts are still telling us we're going to be growing over the next few years, especially with the addition of the latest partners, Fujifilm, Kyocera and Riso. They're taking us into new areas of the market. But the factory's got lots of capacity in it to manage that growth as we move forward over the next few years.
And what about? I think it's great because I guess that the majority of your things is produced in Europe. Do you see any competition? I was thinking, when we went to Drupa this time, I don't know if you saw that, but I was bashing a little bit that there's too many Chinese people are basically competing on uneven ground. Is that something that you feel in the segment that you operate in, or?
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge as we move forward, and I did notice that in the at the event in India. It was flooded by Chinese product there. But yeah, most of what we do manufacture in Europe at the site in Riga. That's our key manufacturing plant. We have manufacturing in the UK, but we do bring in some Chinese products as well, and we version those, and we add our own software and firmware to it. So it's something we need to embrace, we need to manage. It's a concern at the moment with all the talks around tariffs and such like with the US market. The US is incredibly important to Plockmatic. There's around 50% of our global sales going to the US market. So we're very sensitized to that situation and watching it very carefully. But as a global supplier, there's few companies can avoid dealing with China. And certainly we get a lot of components from China.
Of course.
But it's just part of the business that we need to manage and sort of navigate our way through.
Fantastic. Ray, Innovation Days, what can people expect from you guys there?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be taking the latest version of the Power Square, which is the BM7000. It's going to be the top-end product for Morgana. We previewed it at Drupa. We had it on our own stand at Drupa. We had it connected to one of the Konica printers on their stand. We've made some changes to it. We've done some further development, but we're just about to launch it for sales in the summertime. We are just about to get into validation with a couple of the print partners, to really enhance that connectivity to the various ranges of printers. So that's a kind of key one for us. We'll get lots of people who want to see it again. We haven't really had it externally since Drupa. So I'm sure that will be, one of the more significant products there. The coater, which we had at the previous event, that's been a fantastic success for us. Both connected inline, especially working with Canon on the IX3200 platform.
Is that the one that Tony Michels was involved with? Or?
Yeah, Tony Michael. Yeah, Tony's now part of our organisation. He's working within the group. He's got several new developments on the go. Oh, nice. Some of which will be shown at the event. But yeah, we're going to take the coater again because we had such incredible interest from it. As I say, in line with Canon, in line with some Indigo users. But we've also sold a lot of them as offline systems as well, where they can basically take the work from 2 or 3 different devices. So we'll have the quota there again as well.
That's nice. And I guess that you are expecting a lot of interest and maybe even some orders, maybe?
I think last time at the event, we didn't walk away with too many orders. It was much more technology discussions and presentations of equipment. But in the months afterwards, we did see some fantastic business. You always hope that you walk away with orders. You always try and justify the cost of the event on the day. But in truth, I think the benefit from a show like this will come for many months and years following it. It'll be great to catch up with everyone again. There's lots of our dealers will be coming across as well. It's also an event that we use to connect with our dealers, mainly from Europe, but there's some global dealers will be arriving as well. So it's a kind of wide-ranging event for us, customers, dealers, and obviously the chance to catch up with colleagues and other technology that's on show at the event.
Fantastic. I look forward to see you and your colleagues and Plockmatic and Morgana and Michelle's and the coders. I mean, I look forward to everything basically.
Yeah, all of us now. Yeah.
Pretty much, I guess, right? So, but that's that's as you said that you've been in the industry for years. Inkies, we celebrated our 10 years anniversary last year. So obviously, as when you stay in the business for a little time, you get to know people, right?
You do.
But it was good to have you here on Inkies. So Ray, thank you very much, and see you soon.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time, Martin. It's good to chat to you again. Thanks.
Likewise. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.